All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you for having your camera on. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I don't like talking to a black screen. Okay, let's get started. Let's review. This is period 4, classwork. So the Zine, guys, the zine. So the zine is due on Friday. On Friday. Remember, we're working on emotional health, and we're also working on the solutions to this emotional problems, this mental struggle that we may have. Perhaps it's to 2020, or it's just life in general. So the final zine is due on Friday, and the presentation is going to be done in Flipgrid. You can, I want you guys to read your book and talk about it. Maybe you can talk to me about like this. You can explain it with you in front, or you also have the option of just showing the book without yourselves in it. I just want you to explain the book, why you do it, and talk about it and read it. And the question of the week, guys: how can a story and or an image influence our lives and of others? What does influence mean? What does that word influence? What does that word mean, influence? How about influencers and YouTube? How, how can I influence somebody? For example, a book that influences the world. Give me an example of a book that influences the world. I'm thinking of one right now. How about a religious book? Religious books. How about like the Bible? Isn't that influencing the world? That influences people to do good things, go to church. That influences everyone. How about the Quran or other religious books? They're very influential. So that's a story that can influence the community and the world. What about an image? An image. How can an image influence us? Let's say your friend is wearing a brand shirt. Let's see, Nikes, Adidas, or Vans. And then you're like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? That's a really cool shirt. It's like, well, I got it at the mall. It's and then you go run and you go to the mall and run to it. That's influencing. That shirt influenced you to go buy one like it. So that's influencing. How about memes? Memes in Instagram or Facebook. How are those influential? Maybe there's talking about political issues, about the presidents or what's going on this year. How about Black Lives Matter? Have you guys seen a picture like this? Black Lives Matter. That's influential. You think about with images, you're thinking about those issues, you're thinking about all these problems, and you want to help out. So that's influencing. So with our books, you have the power, with our zine, you have the power to influence, uh, talk about issues that people are having, that you're having, and maybe a solution. How can you solve those issues? So that's the question of the week, guys. Do you guys have any questions on that? I want you guys to write one paragraph by Sunday. By Sunday, one paragraph, guys. No
Miss,
questions? Go for it.
do we have to still reply to someone?
No, you don't have to reply anymore. Just I just want a nice paragraph, like 5 sentences. Tell me examples. Talk about it. It can either be about a story, images, or even both. Give me a paragraph, just a paragraph.
Okay.
You don't need to reply anymore. Okay. So, okay, guys, extra credit. Extra credit. Have you guys heard of Inktober? Inktober? It's in social media. We're calling it Xtober for extra credit October. Xtober. So the point of this is to draw one drawing per day. One fish, two wisp. What's a wisp? I don't know. Let me go Google it. So you want to go Google it. You can go Google images. Look, I'm gonna show you examples. These are examples of other Inktober people that have done it. Look at all those. Basically, you're supposed to do it with pen, but I'm allowing you to do with any medium you want. You can do it with pencil, with color pencils. Be creative, guys. Combine it. So that's extra credit, guys. So there's 31 opportunities. Each day is 2 points. You do not have to do all 31. As many as you do, you'll get 2 points. I don't want little tiny drawings, guys. And we're doing it in our paper. So divide the paper into 3x2s. Okay? Divide our paper. So the paper, remember, you get it at the office. At the office. So please do it in our paper. Any questions on that? Be creative, guys. You're able. So, for example, fish. There's whales. I mean, that's not really a fish, but you can do the sea. Be creative in each one, and fill the box up. Fill the box up, guys. I don't want a tiny little drawing. So that's extra credit, guys. I want to see some good drawings. And if you don't need the extra credit, just do it. It's fun. When you do it, post it on social media and hashtag it so that the world can see. The rule is in social media though that you have to do it with ink. So that's the only rule, like Inktober. That's the rule in social medias in Facebook, Instagram. So that's that. Extra credit. Question of the week. The zine is due Friday this weekend. Now I'm gonna do a presentation, guys. A presentation. We're gonna talk about a couple of artists. So Frida Kahlo. She is a very famous artist, right? Everybody knows her. Frida Kahlo. But you might not know her real story. So she was born in 1907, a little bit more than 100 years, in Culiacan. It's near Mexico City, near Mexico City. Even though she grew up with 6 sisters, she preferred to be alone, doing art. She loved to draw. At age 6, she got a disease called polio. That's when your body starts paralyzing. Unfortunately, her right leg was paralyzing. And during her whole life, she had medical problems throughout her whole life. And her art reflects this pain. We're gonna see some art. Look at that. She's reflecting her pain. At age 18, she was in a bus and the bus had an accident. She fractured everything in the center of her body, her spinal cord, her ribs, her pelvic bone, her legs, a lot of issues. And she wasn't unable to have kids ever again. She wasn't able to have kids. And she was always in pain, constant pain. And her art reflects this pain. Look at her. She's doing art to her cast with a mirror. She couldn't walk for a while. She was in bed the whole time. 3 months in bed. Can you guys believe that? 3 months in bed. But instead of being her phone, she was doing art. There was no phones back in the day, guys. Cell phones at least. So she used to do art. She actually said, "Pies, ¿para qué los quiero si tengo alas para volar?" In English, feet, what do I need them for if I have wings to fly? She's meant as her art was her wings. It freed her. She was able to be free with her art. And she painted herself a lot because she was by herself in bed for a long time. So she got married to Diego Rivera. He was more of a political artist. He did paintings for famous people, rich people in New York. He was more political, while Frida painted more self-reflective paintings about herself, very self-reflective paintings. Sort of like the zine we're doing right now. We're painting on self-reflection or teaching us something. Her paintings, guys, look at this painting. What is that in the center? It's a mural, but it's broken. What do you think that represents? It represents her,
That her
I'm sorry,
spine is
her spine. Yes. Thank you. What about her nails? What do her nails represent in the body, all over the body? What do they represent, the nails? How about pain? Constant pain. She was always in pain. She did 143 paintings in her life, and 55 were self-portraits, talking about explaining herself, reflecting about herself. She said, "I paint self-portraits because I am so often alone, because I am the person I know best." So like I said, she was always by herself. She spent a lot of time by herself because her sickness, and she reflected on herself like the zine. Do you guys have any comments, any questions on Frida? No. She was actually considered a surrealist artist. A surrealism is when you paint fantasies. And she actually said it. They thought I was a surrealist, but I wasn't. I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality. So look at her. This is clearly a surreal artwork. But she said, no, this is not surreal. This is reality. This is my pain. This is who I am. So she is very self-reflective in her art. The deer symbolizes her right leg, which had been affected by and both polio and the terrible bus accident. So so much so much pain in her life, and she found somewhat of an escape with her artwork. It represents her ongoing trauma in her life. So she died pretty young at age 47. Um, when she died, before she died, she said, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." So she depicts herself a lot with her pets. She had monkeys, cats, birds. Have you guys seen the movie, by the way? They show her with
I
so many
have.
pets. You have seen the movie? Did you like it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They showed her accident. They showed how she got married. They showed the problems she had. They didn't really show her pain, like her constant pain. She was always in pain. But she did a lot of paintings about herself. So we're talking about Frida, but another artist is similar is Yayoi Kusama from Japan. She is actually called the Princess of Polka Dots. What do you think that is? She actually does she does many paintings on polka dots. She creates paintings, sculptures, installations as part of pop art movement. Pop art, what is that? What is that? That's a recent art movement about shapes and colors. It's similar to comic book art. It's popular art. So it's comic book art. Okay, guys. So Yayoi says her mental health issues come from two things. World War II in Japan. She grew up in World War II, during World War II. And the negative attitude her mom had towards her art. Her mom never liked her art. Now think about that. Think about all the issues you're going right now in 2020. And plus, let's say, give you example, your parents. They don't like something, you play video games all the time, or you watch TV all the time. They don't like that. And that's gonna make you crazy, right? So she uses her artwork to heal herself. Here are some sculptures she did. Well, her sculptures, she has people help her do it, and then she paints them. She does polka dots because it reminds her of a field of flowers. This painting is actually called self-obliteration. She does collaboration with Louis Vuitton. Many of her artwork is depicted in Louis Vuitton's clothing and bags. And she actually did infinity rooms. We're gonna see a video where they show infinity rooms. Basically, an infinity room is a room of mirrors, and there is lights, and then basically you can see forever, infinitely. We're gonna watch a quick video, guys. Wait, am I sharing with audio?
A North American tour for a new exhibit by a legendary Japanese artist. Infinity Mirrors is a collection of psychedelic art that appears to go on forever. It's by Yayoi Kusama, who's known as the Princess of Polka Dots. Kusama turned 88 years old yesterday, a significant number in some Asian cultures. Errol Barnett's at Washington's Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden to explore this deeply personal project. Errol, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Obliteration Room. This is one of the artworks of Yayoi Kusama, and I can tell you the response to this exhibit has been overwhelming. 1 month ago, when the first 9,000 daily time passes were made available, which are free, they were snatched up within 6 minutes. The museum's website crashed, and people have been lining up ever since. You could say there is almost no end to the number of people wanting to experience Kusama's infinite world. One step into the space and the experience is quite literally limitless.
Look at the reflection on the top.
From her quirky latest work titled All the Eternal Love I Have for the Pumpkins,
No pumpkin patch I is.
to her earliest mirror display, and on,
Oh my gosh.
and on. Never before have so many of Yayoi Kusama's captivating infinity mirror rooms been in the same place at the...
So guys, these are installations. That means it's not a sculpture, it's not a painting, but an installation is interactive. You can you go inside the room, and it's not a painting, but there are lights with mirrors, which reflects forever. That's an installation, guys.
the same time. Rarely seen outside of Japan, Kusama established herself in the American art world after her move to New York in 1957.
In the late 50s, it's the post-World War II period in Japan. And I think it was also very much a period where if you wanted to become an artist, you really had to go to a place like New York.
Melissa Chu is the Hirshhorn Museum's director.
I would say that it started with her arrival in New York. She became kind of enamored with performance art, which was developing at that time.
Performance art, guys. Performance art is another type of artwork. It is not a painting, a sculpture, installation. It's basically a play that it's something you create for the public, and it happens only once. And it's for example like a play you go see. That's a type of performance art. But she did a lot of artistic performance arts in public.
As an anti-war activist, Kusama staged what she called happenings against violence at the height of the Vietnam War.
She wanted recognition. She wanted to be known as an artist.
Happenings is another word for performance art. So it's like something is happening in the moment. It's happening.
Mika Yoshitake has studied.
Oh, by the way, guys, these rooms, they talked about it, but basically the public does it. They get stickers and the public adds them. So the public is part of the artwork. They create the artwork.
Kusama's work for years.
The young people who were in her studio also frequented Warhol's studio, and so she was very kind of competitive.
As one of the few women in an art world dominated by men, Kusama saw male artists like Andy Warhol as rivals, but the pace of her life in New York was unsustainable.
She came back to Japan in 1973 and went through quite a dark period.
She literally worked herself mad.
Yes, 40 to 50 hours at a stretch.
Kusama has lived in a Tokyo mental institution for 40 years, checking herself out to work at a nearby studio every morning and returning to the psychiatric hospital each evening. In a video made for the exhibit, the media-shy artist shared her philosophy. The effect of infinite, constant repetition leads us to finding our ever-expanding hope, she says.
She's developed a method or a rhythm to stabilize her condition, and art really is a way for her, it's a healing process.
Is she happy?
That's a hard question.
So she uses her artwork as art therapy. There is art therapy helps people that cannot express their own pain. Somewhat like Frida Kahlo, she uses self-reflective. It's art therapy. That's art. When you're reflecting about your problems, it helps, like her polka dots. It helped reflect her problems. She forgot about her problems while doing all those dots. So that was therapy, art therapy for her.
I think there's a lot of dualities in her work. Some of her work is very dark.
So you wouldn't go as far as to say she's happy. She's maybe in many ways conflicted.
She barely smiles when I see her. I think the only time she smiles is when she finishes one of her paintings.
Kusama has described her art as therapy, and her appeal has been profound.
This is the most visited exhibition in the museum's history.
This obliteration room started out with no color at all. Museum goers who are given sheets of stickers are encouraged to cover the room in polka dots of every size and color. To the thousands who have visited this exhibit, what would you compare it to?
The planet I'm from.
Love it. It's a trip.
It is a reality unto itself.
It's an immersive experience. It's trippy.
Little psychedelic too, right?
Created by a tormented artist with a decidedly positive impact.
It made me feel really happy.
And of course, something like this is primed for social media, right? Hashtag Infinite Kusama has appeared on more than 43 million Instagram and Twitter accounts with more than 212 impressions.
Okay, guys. So what did you guys think of her artwork, her infinity rooms? What do you guys think of her dots, infinite dots? Look at that. So they said that she not only does flowers, She does more morbid artwork, creepier artwork to express her anxiety inside. Look at these tentacles with full of dots everywhere, red, red, red. That shows her anxiety inside her problems, her mental health issues. And remember, she lived through World War II, and and her mom just did not like her artwork. She always had problems with her mom. So we talked about Frida. We talked about Yayoi. Both women have mental issues or a mental, so Yayoi has anxiety because of the World War II, and Frida, she has a lot of health problems because of the accident and polio. Okay, guys, now let's do Vincent van Gogh. He's a very famous artist too, and his artwork also deals with mental issues, mental health issues. As a young man, he was very emotional man. He was not afraid to show his emotions. A lot of us are afraid to show our emotions, especially here in Compton. He was born in 1853, and he didn't have a lot of friends. Like Frida, he drew a lot. So his brother told him to become an artist. The way he paints is impasto. Impasto is thick layers of paint, very thick. So sometimes he would use it straight out of the tube. In oil paintings, we don't really use straight out of the tubes. We dilute it, we make it waterier with a medium, with a turpentine or other kind of chemicals to make it more waterier. But he was doing it very thick, very thick. So he created over 200 artworks in his lifetime, and he only sold one, only one. And guess who it was to his brother. His brother he bought him a painting because he felt bad. So he also suffered from mental illness. This was his room. The Starry Night is one of the most famous paintings out there. Everybody's seen this painting. It's as famous as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Very famous painting, guys. So he says that the sky was blue, not black. Like when we go outside, we see black and we don't really see stars, right? That's because of the light pollution. Light pollution is a big problem in the city. Did you guys know that his dad was a pastor and he was actually wanted to become a pastor? But he was giving the church's money to the poor. So he was no longer a pastor. Instead he decided to be an artist. At the time, what was happening was impressionist artists like Monet. Impressionist artist was capturing the moment in time, what it looks like. So this is Monet. He was very famous impressionist artist. And Van Gogh, he was not an impressionist artist. He was not drawing things that were in at the moment. They were not popular. He wasn't drawing things that what it looks like. He was drawing instead his emotions. He was painting with his emotions. He was painting what he felt. Look at this landscape. That is the last painting he did in his life. Wheat field of crows. He died in 1890 from a gunshot to the stomach. It is believed it was believed that he shot himself in the stomach, but now they are rediscovering that somebody shot him. Some kids were messing with him and shot him. And he died of the gunshot wound. So he was not famous. He did 200 artworks, but he was not famous because he was not able to be impressionist. It's like right now. Think about it. Like people are doing a lot of popular artwork in social medias. They're doing a lot of street art. Like if you see social media, a lot of anime. Now think about maybe all the artwork is in right now, but imagine doing an art piece that just nobody likes. It's just not popular. That's how he felt. He didn't get a lot of likes in his social media. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you a video on Vincent van Gogh. It's a short video. It's a Doctor Who video. It's about him coming from the past into the future. And he is gonna watch himself, how famous he is now. Because he was never able to see his fame. When he died without even knowing how famous he was gonna get. He only sold one painting to his artist, to his brother. Let me see if yeah. It's gonna be a quick video, guys.
Where are we?
Paris, 2010 AD, and this is
2010, guys. So he was from the 1800s. So he comes to the future, from the past.
Is the mighty Musée d'Orsay, home to many of the greatest paintings in history.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Ignore that, I've got something more important to show you.
Take all your chances while you can. Never know when they'll pass you by. Like a sum the mathematician cannot solve. Like me, trying my hardest to explain. It's all about your crossing kisses. Those first steps that I can't calculate.
To Black. We met a few days ago. I asked you about the church at Venice.
Oh, yes. Glad to be of help. You were nice about my tie.
Yes. And today is another cracker, if I may say so. But I just wondered, between you and me, in 100 words, where do you think Van Gogh rates in the history of art?
Well, big question. But to me, Van Gogh is the finest painter of them all. Certainly the most popular great painter of all time. The most beloved, his command of color, the most magnificent. He transformed the pain of his tormented life into ecstatic beauty. Pain is easy to portray, but to use your passion and pain to portray the ecstasy and joy and magnificence of our world, no one had ever done it before. Perhaps no one ever will again. To my mind, that strange, wild man who roamed the fields of Provence was not only the world's greatest artist, but also one of the greatest men who ever lived.
Vincent, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, is it too much?
No. They are tears of joy. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sorry about the beard.
So remember, guys, he died not knowing fame. He died when he died. He was not popular. He was made fun of, and now he's one of the most popular artists out there that paints, that his artwork is filled with passion and filled with his pain. Okay, guys? So look at the colors. Look at how he applies the paint. Look at these colors. Look at the starry night. How emotional it is. How the moon compared the light reflecting against the city, light against the city, the small town. So that's been Van Gogh, guys. So these artists that I showed you guys are they deal with emotional and mental health issues. Frida Kahlo, polio in the accident, and Yayoi Miyazaki lived through World War II, anxiety, and Vincent van Gogh. He never saw his fame. And any comments, guys? Any questions about these artists that I talked about today? Any questions, guys? Questions on Frida, Yayoi, or Vincent? No? Okay, guys. So just to remind you, the extra credit October is due on the 31st of the 1 month from now, more than a month. You need to do it on the paper that we have in the office. The zine is due this weekend, and the question of the week. And that's it, guys. And if you still haven't done the other ones in the past, you can still do it. You can still do line. All right, guys. So if you guys have any questions, that's it for today. Go do your zine, guys. I want you guys to do a good job.
Bye.
See ya. See ya Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye. Did I get marked absent? Michelle C. No, you're here. You're fine.
My uncle got a message that I was absent. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, she got a message that she was absent. Got it. So basically what he does is marks everybody absent, and then as you walked in, he marks you here.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably the reason he got it.
Okay.
Flores Daisy. You're here, Flores Daisy. Daisy. Yeah, you're here.
Okay, thank you.
And Isaac. You're good, Isaac.
I have a question.
Go for it. Isaac Urbina. What's your question?
How do I do the final design?
The zine?
Yes.
Am I still sharing my screen or no?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go to your stream, I put a video right there. It shows you how to fold it, and it shows you ways to decorate it too. You don't have to decorate it. She's a YouTuber, but you don't have to do. All I want is a story, like a drawings and words. You don't have to. You don't have to decorate it this much. Yes, and how to fold it's there too.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so just look at the video.
I was also marked absent.
Okay. Does it matter the paper?
I want you to do it on the paper from the office. So what you're gonna do is take one off with the staples, very carefully. Who else had a question?
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Go for it.
For the, like, when you're doing the drawings, will we have to, like, explain the drawings? Is that what the main purpose is?
Well, you're doing a story. So maybe you can do like in the comic books, like say bubbles, like thought bubbles, like thinking bubbles. Or in the bottom you can write like what's happening, a little box of words, a text box. What are you doing yours on?
Anxiety and depression.
Are you doing a story or just talking about it, or are you just teaching us about it? What are you doing with it?
Could I do like a mixture of both?
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so just make sure to just talk about it like in a little book. It's just like a book. Maybe talk about solutions, problems, how you can help it, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
You can have characters too. Not just pictures of anxiety, but characters talking to each other. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay. Who's gonna go first? Go, Luis. Wait, was it Joey or Luis?
I accidentally left a Zoom meeting earlier on. Did I get marked absent?
No, Joey, you're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Who else has a question? Oh, you're breaking up. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but you're breaking up, so what is your question?
It's about the extra credit.
Oh, what about it?
Do we turn it in every day?
No, until the 31st.
Like all together?
Well, as how many did you do? You don't have to do all 31. You can do maybe like 10, and 10 times 2, 20 extra credits right there.
Okay.
This is an example. But do it in our paper, okay?
Okay.
And I showed you how to do the boxes.
I have the paper.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
You too. Any other questions, guys?